Welcome to the award-winning Real Estate Mortgage Shop, where home buyers, homeowners, and investors get practical mortgage and real estate insight straight from the pros with your host, Jo Garner.
Good morning, Memphis, and welcome to our internet listeners and podcast listeners across the 50 states. You're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, and I'm your host, Jo Garner. I'm a mortgage loan officer. You can connect with me at jogarner.com. Our topic today is protect your home like a pro with these smart mortgage moves and home maintenance team. Thank you to real estate attorneys Shelley Rothman and Rob Drawn of Griffincliff, Everton, and Mashmeyer Law Firm for sponsoring this episode of Real Estate Mortgage Shop. For your title work and closing on your home purchase or refinance, contact Rob and Shelley at 901-752-1133. Today is April the 11th, 2026, and we want to congratulate our Artemis II crew for a safe landing, and wow, wasn't that pretty awesome?
That's great.
Talk about a team, Ed. That was a team it took to get them to around the moon and back, but congratulations. And Ed Hill of Masters Roofing is back in the studio. Ed, when people call you, you actually go out there and find out what they want and what they need, and then you deliver.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit on the phone, and I'll come out. We'll let you show me what your concern is. We can help with roof repairs, replacement. We can help with a lot of exterior repairs on your home or business as well.
Well, tell our new listeners a little bit about yourself and some of the services that you offer at Masters Roofing.
Okay, my name's Ed Hill. I'm with Masters Roofing. I'm senior consultant. I've worked with the owner of that company for 18 years, Joe.
Wow.
And I've been in the home services industry since 2001. I've done 2 or 3 different things, but roofing seems to be, an exterior seems to be the thing that helps people the most. So
yeah.
That's what I do.
Well, and you've got a podcast, Memphis Home Maintenance Show.podbean.com.
Right, that's correct.
And that covers a lot of different types of exterior
It does.
and home
It sure
improvements.
does.
Well, do you want to buy a home, or maybe you want to build your home? Do you have a dream of starting a business? What other life adventure would you like to experience? Every time I'm ready to take my first steps, I always remember the good counsel I got many years ago from my grandfather, my business teacher at school, a few others. But they asked me, they said, "Jo, what resources do you already have to get started?" Well, I had to take a moment, take an inventory. So I ask you, our listeners, what do you want to do with your life dream and achievement? What resources do you have? What are your own skills that you can put to work? What financial support do you have? And who do you know who has what you need? So that goes along with our topic today. Ed and I are going to try to walk through with you and help you put together your team, your smart moves. This story comes from a former client, Ed, that she wanted to give the very best to her children.
Okay.
But as a divorced single mom, her dreams seemed, unattainable at first. Then she asked herself those questions. What resources do I have? Who do I know that has those resources that I need? Key questions.
Absolutely.
I call this story Subdivide and Conquer. Okay, you're going to find out why. So meet Adele Edmond. That's not her real name. Adele is divorced, single mom, 2 middle school daughters. She works full time and wants to give her daughters a good life, and she wants to be a good mom. In the divorce, Adele kept the very small house sitting off a highway outside the city limits where she and the girls had been living for the last few years. Behind the house, they owned about 10 acres that also needed mowing and bush hogging, which was an expense for her.
And a lot of work.
A lot of work. Adele's challenge, she wanted to move to a larger home in town in a school district where some of her daughter's friends from church went to school.
Right.
But she didn't have enough income to afford a high payment since she didn't have a lot to use for down payment to live where she wanted to live. So, what was Adele's strategy? After talking to some business and real estate savvy friends at church, that was her network, she decided instead of trying to sell her little house and the land in the back, she would subdivide the land and sell the lots individually with the small house too. Wow.
Now,
She didn't know how to do that on her own, but she knew somebody who did that she trusted.
okay.
So she partnered with a developer and a builder and a trusted real estate friend. Adele's reward? Well, Adele is still in the process at the time of this story. She was still in the process of finishing the project, but by connecting with the right friends and partners to help her, it looks like when I was working with her, it looked like she would make significantly more profit subdividing the land and selling them individually than just trying to sell her little house and all that grass to mow out back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, selling the property this way already provided her with enough down payment to get the mortgage payment low enough and comfortable enough in the larger home she wanted in that other school district. So with money left over, she said, I got money left over to invest in my daughter's future. Whatever it is that you want to do, there's a mortgage for that. And if you're buying a home, building a rental home portfolio, or maybe you're just refinancing and totally restructuring your finances, connect with me today and let's explore your financing options. I can help you find the right mortgage, and we will make that process easy. Connect with me at jogarner.com. And now, Ed, I want to hand you the mic and say to our listeners, you really are the expert on roofing and some home improvements. You and I both are a hub of resources. We're a hub of resources for others who need reputable professionals to help them find the right products and services. We're part of Greater Memphis B&I, that's
Right.
Business
That's right.
Network International. We're also part of Talk Shop's networking group. You can find a directory of professionals at www.talkshop, that's SHOPPE, talkshop.com/directory. But we have 3 or 4 minutes here before we go to break. Ed, let's jump into some of your suggestions on how to build a home maintenance 911 team when you need it.
Boy, that's what we need. So I want you to think about 2 things you probably should not do. I have seen people in good faith ask on, for example, Facebook, does anybody know a good roofer or painter, lawn company? And what's going to happen is you're going to get so many different companies and people that it's almost pointless,
right,
because it will paralyze you. Mm-hmm. It's okay to do it, but I warned you. The other thing that many people may not realize is when you call a large company, there's a bunch of them that advertise, call us, we'll find you a contractor. Contractors use those sites to generate leads.
Right.
So once you call, you are probably going to be tsunamied by phone calls from painters, electricians,
Woo, yes.
and so on. I mean, I'm talking about like 50 phone calls.
Oh.
So that might not, unless you just like that kind of thing, that might not be what you want to do. Mm-hmm. I have a humble suggestion, Joe, on building a home maintenance 911 team.
I want to hear your humble suggestion.
All right, I want you to think about this, people. When an emergency arises without warning at home or school or work or church or something, we all know to immediately dial what? 911, right? We don't even have to search for the phone number of the sheriff's office or the fire department. We just instinctively dial 911. Well, ponder that fact for a moment. Without hesitation, when seconds count, we just dial the universal number to get just the right help at just the right time.
Absolutely.
What would it mean to you if you had the same system set up in advance for that emergency that you don't know is going to come?
Yes, like a bursted water pipe.
Right. So that's what I'm suggesting. When we dial 911 in an emergency and on the road or in the backyard, we do so because we can trust that exactly the right help will come and they will know exactly what to do. So let's look at this. Let's apply the same concept to emergencies that occur with no advance warning regarding our home and well-being, whether it's a leaking faucet or a broken water line, burned out security light on the second story, or a hot-to-the-touch electrical panel in the utility room.
Not
that
good.
Doesn't sound good.
Not at all.
And we need to be able to make a call to exactly the right help who know exactly what to do when they come to our home. So here's how to build that. Number one, make a list of what type of help may be needed. And I'm just going to give some examples, Joe,
Okay.
and you can help me on this.
All right.
How about electrical, plumbing? Can you think of some others?
Well, roof leak, like when the branch
All right.
goes through your roof.
Heating and air, painting, flooring, security, pest control.
Appliances.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
appliances, pool cleaning, lawn care, glass repair, appliance repair, landscaping, tree service, irrigation, like your sprinkler system in the yard, this blows up. And you
Wild
need help.
animal removal.
I don't think I had that. That is a great one. So those are examples. And when we come back a little later, we're going to talk in more detail about what to do.
Ed Hill of Masters Roofing, how do we contact you?
Just call or text directly, 901-273-6594.
You're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm your host, Jo Garner. I am a mortgage loan officer. What do you want to accomplish with your mortgage? I can make the mortgage process easy for you, and we can help you find the right mortgage to brag about. Connect with me at jogarner.com. When we come back, we're going to be hearing more from Ed Hill of Masters Roofing. See you guys back in just a moment. Real Estate Mortgage Shop provides general information, not an offer to lend. Jo Garner, Talk Shop Real Estate Mortgage Shop does not endorse 100% of the information covered on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Consult with your certified advisors before acting on any information given on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Jo Garner is a licensed mortgage loan officer, NMLS 757308, Equal Housing Opportunity.
This is Santa Claus from the North Pole. You're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Now back to your host, Jo Garner.
All right, be on your best behavior, Ed. Santa's still watching.
Yeah.
It's time for comic queries. Now, you probably already know the answer, but we're going to ask you anyway.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. What do police call this kind of evidence when a robber robs a house under renovation and accidentally leaves his handprint on wet cement?
Joe, could that be called concrete evidence?
Oh, yes. You are so smart.
All right, I got one for you and everybody listening today, all right? Why is dough another word for money?
Ed, because everybody needs it.
K-N-E-A-D-S, people.
Yes. All right. Well, today on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, we're talking about protect your home like a pro with these smart mortgage moves and home maintenance team. I'm your host, Jo Garner. I'm a mortgage loan officer for your home purchase or refinance you can brag about. We can help you find the right mortgage product and make that process easy on a traditional mortgage, a special program, or even an outside-of-the-box mortgage program. Connect with me, 901-482-0354, 901-482-0354, jogarner.com. And we've got Ed Hill of Masters Roofing in the house. And Ed, how do we contact you?
901-273-6594.
Okay. Well, we were talking about putting together our 911 home improvement team and why we need a 911 team already put together. And you had listed several different types of professionals we need to have on that list. Let's keep going with that.
All right. We talked about getting together the kind of things you might need at your home or business. All right. So number 2, you're going to enter each service and the name and phone number of professionals already trusted. So you may already have some of these. And you're going to enter those into your phone contacts and lists. Now, here's some inside information, everybody, and I use this. I may know the name and I may remember it, or I may not. So I may put it in as painter. Okay, because I might not remember the name of the company or the individual. So do it both ways. That way, especially if it's a real emergency, you're under stress, it'll just make it simpler. All right, so number 3 is research the services and names and phone numbers that come highly recommended to you and enter that information into your phone contacts and list. So now, even if it's a list by the phone on the refrigerator, okay?
As well as your phone.
Have a list that's accessible.
Right.
Now, here's something that's going to help everybody, Joe. This is counterintuitive. So let's say you need an electrician, a plumber, and somebody who does glass. Take the time to call them. Say, hi, I'm so-and-so. We haven't met, but I want to have a list of people that I will call, and it's going to be you.
Right.
And I want you to know who I am. You may want to get my information now, but if I need you in the future, I'm going to be calling you. Sometimes on some of these trades, you may want to actually have them come to your home and meet them. And they, if they understand what you're doing, they'd be willing to do that. Okay? So you've got all the things you might need, the kind of trades and services, people you already know, and now you're going to find people you don't know, but you need somebody who does that kind of work.
That's right.
And you might not need them now. That's the point. Right. You don't know when you're going to need them. And you don't want to be going on Facebook asking Memphis to recommend electricians. You're going to get 900 people and phone numbers. That's not a good plan, everybody. So, Joe, do you know where confidence comes from?
It sounds like a interesting question.
It comes from preparation.
Yes.
I'm prepared.
Yes.
Therefore, I can be confident.
Yes.
When it comes time to paint my home, I already know the company I'm going to use.
Ed,
does that make sense?
To your 911 list, I have at least 2 for each profession in case the other guys other gals on vacation.
Sure. So if you follow these steps, it's going to help you immensely when you have a project that comes up or an actual home emergency.
Right.
Now, if it's a fire, call 911. All right.
Right.
But if it's something you need to have looked at, electrical, plumbing, roofing, maybe you need an adjustment in your mortgage situation, already know who you're going to call. And both Joe and I can refer you to very competent professionals in the trades and services.
Ed, I can confidently say that you and I have spent the better part of our careers building a hub. We're a hub, and we have all of these professionals that we know, like, and trust. We know what they do. We know how they do it, and we are a hub of resources ourselves.
True story, Joe. I did a roof project for a great customer off of Elvis Presley Boulevard about a little over a year ago. He called me recently, said, hey, I need some other work done. Who can you recommend? And I sent him the people, I don't make money off of this. I'm just trying to help a customer.
Yeah, same here.
So he's going to be doing a bath remodel with someone I sent. I believe he's going to be doing landscaping with someone I sent. And I apologize, but I forgot the other trade. But I gave him 2 or 3 things, and it helped him. And it helps me because he's going to recommend me because I helped him, right?
Right.
But even if he never recommended me, it makes me feel good.
That's right.
To take care of my customers. I'm not one and done.
Right.
I may do your roof 3 years ago, but you're welcome to call me and say, hey, who do you know that can help me with a trust? My parents are getting older. Well, I know somebody. It's not just trades. Right.
It's financial services. I'm the same way, and it's important to have them. I always believe in redundancy, so always have more than one. But if you are that person out there who wants to put together your 911 home maintenance or financial services or product and services 911 list, call us. You can contact me at 901-482-0354, 901-482-0354, jogarner.com. And Ed, how do we contact you?
901-273-6594, call or text.
Well, we've got a whole lot more to come in this show, but you're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm Jo Garner, your host. I am a mortgage loan officer, and I can work with you if you're in the Mid-South. Ed, I can work with people, if our listeners, if they're anywhere in the country.
Right.
So contact me, jogarner.com. Ed Hill and Masters Roofing's in the house. And we're going to continue on. We're going to share with you some very brilliant, smart mortgage moves that people have made in this market. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys back in just a moment.
Hey, Joe, in your book, Choosing the Best Mortgage, the Quickest Way to the Life You Want, you talk about when it's a good time to refinance a mortgage. So, when is a great time?
You know, it's when it financially makes sense. And today, people are refinancing their mortgages to eliminate double-digit interest rates on their credit cards. Some are getting mortgages out of someone else's name. Some are just pulling cash out for other reasons.
For those strategies and more, order the book today on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Jones-Borland with Evernest Property Management in Memphis, Tennessee, and you're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Now back to your host, Jo Garner.
Okay, so it's time for Did You Know? And we're going to see if you can guess the answer before we do.
All right. Here is for Did You Know today. Here's a question now. What was the name of the company on Chelsea Avenue in Memphis that caught fire and burned for 23 days?
23 days.
Before finally being extinguished on December 25th, 1956. See, Memphis firefighters started out at the very beginning as a bucket brigade way back. But, you know,
1830s,
now,
actually.
They have pumper trucks now and all that. But they were called to this fire, and it was a big
doozy,
challenge.
A big doozy.
A huge complex, you know, to be fair, and all of that. But 23 days fighting that fire. Now, here's a hint. That company that caught fire is no longer in Memphis, but headquartered in Chicago.
Right.
People still eat their product for breakfast.
So what company is it?
What is the name of that company?
I know the answer.
You know the answer,
I do.
Joe?
The name of the company on Chelsea Avenue in Memphis that caught fire and burned for 23 days was the Quaker Oats Company.
Yeah.
And the fire started with a humongous supply of corn cobs. That's what caught fire.
Oh, man.
But I'll tell you, we have a terrific Memphis Fire Department.
Yeah,
and,
we do.
They are awesome. So kudos to you guys. And today on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, we're talking about protect your home like a pro with the smart mortgage moves and home maintenance team. I'm your host, Jo Garner, a mortgage officer for your home purchase or your mortgage refinance. You can brag about. We can find the right mortgage product and make that process easy. And that's on a traditional mortgage, down payment assistance, first-time home buyer, reverse mortgage, outside-of-the-box loan. Connect with me today at jogarner.com. Ed Hill of Masters Roofing, how do we contact you?
Just call or text 901-273-6594.
Okay, so we're talking about putting together your list of professionals that you need to call on when you need them right now. And I would say, and we've said this many times on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, review is the rule. Mm-hmm. Reviews, check their reviews, check out the contractor or service provider with the Better Business Bureau. I'll tell you, they really do vet these people. They'll even list the type of complaints or comments or compliments on the site. But you just go in and Google the name of the company, the city, state, and then put BBB rating in your Google search, and it will give you that information. Also, Yelp is another place to go to check comments and reviews. Google my business, Google their business, find out from third parties, not their website, not that company's website,
Right.
but other people's comments about them. Networks where Ed Hill and I are connected. We do want to give a shout out to Talk Shop, one of our sponsors. They have a great directory where they vet their sponsors and supporters. You can go there at shoppe.com/directory and find some good
Right.
folks in there. All right, some good team members to have on your real estate team. Number one, a good, reputable, experienced realtor. Preferably one that is well connected, who has, like you and I, Ed, spent a good part of their career putting together a list and a good list of service providers that they can call on ASAP. I just want to tell a personal story. A few years ago, my sister and I needed to get our family-owned property sold within 45 days or less. The property was out in the country. It was about 100 miles away from here. And besides the house, it had land, pond, a bunch of outbuildings, and all of that. Well, my sister, because it was 100 miles away, she hired a realtor that worked out in that county to list the property, and she informed us of not just a little, but a lot of repairs that needed to be done, and so that the buyer, whoever would come along, could get some traditional financing.
Sure.
No problem, we thought. We called some people we knew out there in that county. But the carpenter was booked up, could not get to our projects for another month and a half. The electrician told us he couldn't do the job for another 60 days. And the plumber informed us, well, he was too busy.
Wow.
So frustration was mounting, maybe a little anguish too. But how were these repairs going to get hammered out and still nail this closing deadline?
Right.
Well, my sister called for help from this realtor that she had hired to list the property. Well, the realtor immediately whistled up her group of contractors, a plumber, electrician, and they began working the very next week.
Wow.
They were doing a good job, a good price. My sister's family and I conversed on the property too. We did our part, like
Right.
painting and some landscaping and stuff. But it would have never happened, Ed, never happened on time without the realtor who had the right resources that we could use right now, right when we needed them.
Correct.
So can't say enough about a good realtor. They know that if they know the market, they can help you price it right, negotiate, but they also have that. They're also a hub of resources. Here's another one, a mover, an organizer and mover to make that turnkey transition easy, quick and easy. I want to tell a story about a lady. She's on our Talk Shop directory. The phone rang, and Leanne Morse clicked her headset to answer while she was juggling some boxes for an estate sale that she was helping a customer with. She's a mover, but she was trying to help. Leanne, of All Things New, that's the name of her company. She's an organizer and mover. She helped that customer create a positive experience in the transition. She does that every time. The person on the other line was an older lady, and with a voice that sounded a little frail, she asked Leanne, she said, I need to move out of the state in the next month to live with a family member. I have a large home. It's full of stuff, and I can only take a small portion of it. Can you help me with the sorting, packing, and moving? I just can't do it myself. Leanne met with this lady, listened to her as she described what she wanted to do and how she wanted to do it, Ed. It
Sure.
goes back to what
Yeah.
you said and what I do. That's the key for a good professional. And Leanne and her crew connected her with to get her estate sale done, connected her with some other people. They packed everything, moved her. Leanne is one of those people. She's very resourceful in getting a quality realtor to that
Right.
woman and all that she needed. Talk about a turnkey transition and a positive experience for a lady making the move. So
Sure.
the other one is a loan officer, and I want to tell you, my hands up. I want to be on your team as your lender. Shop for the right mortgage and the right mortgage officer. This will save you time and money. Don't just call a 1-800 number, because mortgages do not come one size fits all. Ed.
Right.
But so many times I've heard people come back to me and say, well, they just said, get this mortgage. I didn't ask any questions, and they didn't either. Wrong answer. You want bragging rights on getting the right mortgage? Mortgages, there are a lot of different kinds. Examples, some of my Hall of Fame clients who have bragging rights today on their mortgage. First-time home buyers, they got a lower than market interest rate and down payment assistance, closing on their first home with little or nothing down.
Nice.
Move-up buyers who used creative bridge financing or a special feature on their mortgage so they could buy their new home and wait until later to sell their old home and still enjoy a low mortgage payment on the new home. Wow, bragging rights. Self-employed borrowers who legally write off expenses and do not show a lot of income on their tax return. They were told no by other banks that they didn't have enough net income to show to qualify.
Right.
But we use an outside-of-the-box mortgage. We may look at bank statements. We may look at other documents to determine your income. How about no income verification loan? Well, if they've got good credit and they've got a lot of investments that are, that can be sold, like $500,000, $1 million, we can do an asset depletion loan.
Right.
No income verification needed. What about people who want to buy or refinance a fixer-upper? There's a renovation repair loan for that. Real estate investors that don't want to have to take a lot of time, a lot of documents. There's special loans, DSCR loans for them. Condominium financing, hobby farms, reverse mortgages for homeowners over 62 years old. Connect with me. Maybe I hit some areas that apply to you or somebody you know. Maybe I didn't. There's more out there. Call me. Connect with me. Let's mastermind. Let me hear what you want to do and help you achieve what you want to achieve with those mortgage bragging rights.
Sure. Joe, in, crossing Memphis from one end to the other and surrounding areas, I'm constantly amazed at how people are in agony and they're paralyzed because they don't know what to do. But they also don't know who to call who does know what to do.
Right.
And it's so simple. And so this program today is aimed at just saying if you're one of those people and you're stuck, a good place to start is call me or Joe. If we don't know, we can point you to someone who does.
That's right. Well, and please, for your mortgage, connect with me today at jogarner.com. And Ed Hill of Masters Roofing, how do we contact you?
901-273-6594.
Make your plan. Let's work your plan. If the deal works for you today, hey, let's do it today. We can make the process easy, whether you're doing a roof or a mortgage. And stay tuned. We've got some more when we come back. And we'll see you guys back in just a moment.
I'm Troy McDonald.
And I'm Lynn McDonald.
With the Aaron McDonald Insurance Agency.
From Memphis, Tennessee. And you're listening to the Real Estate Mortgage Shop. And now back to your host, Jo Garner.
All right. We're going to talk about insights and inspirations. This story is called Vision for Service to Others. This young man had a strong faith in God and devotion to helping others. When the Great Depression hit, he dropped out of school in 8th grade to work as an office boy to support his family. Later, he played semi-pro baseball and enlisted in the U.S. Marines in 1918. Following his baseball career and work, it was still the midst of the Depression. He launched his own moth-proofing company. But people needed so many more other services, so why not offer other professional services under one roof? This businessman had a vision for serving others, his customers, and his employees. His commitment to service enabled him to successfully run his moth-proofing business, and very quickly the business grew. And in 1954, the name of the company changed to Service Master. The company, which Marion Wade founded almost 50 years ago, is still thriving today and offers a variety of residential and commercial services, including lawn and landscape maintenance, termite and pest control, maintenance and repair of heating and air, plumbing, appliances, cleaning furniture, and the list goes on. When you own a home or a business, It's important to have a variety of reputable professionals in reach to quickly get you the product or service you need to keep your life and your business running smoothly. What other reasonable price professionals of excellence do you need to keep your home and finances working well? So that's our insights and inspiration. Today on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, we're talking about protect your home like a pro with these smart mortgage moves and home maintenance team. I'm your host, Jo Garner. I'm a mortgage officer. Please connect with me today. Let's find the right product for you. jogarner.com. And we've got Ed Hill of Masters Roofing in the house. Ed, how do we contact you?
901-273-6594.
We're going to do something we like to do every week. Real estate tip of the week. Ed Hill, I believe you have a real estate tip of the week.
Yes, if you're a homeowner and you are frustrated because you filed an insurance claim regarding your roof,
right,
and it was slam dunked, you need to call me. I'm going to let you explain to me the history of it. I may do some research on my own. Sometimes, many times, we can get those turned around. And to me, it's fun because I like to see if I can flip that claim yet again. And you'd be surprised how many times, and I'm not saying anybody's intentionally doing anything wrong, Joe, but how many times an incorrect resolution is reached.
Well, and you've helped me personally and a lot of people I know to deal with insurance companies when it comes to that roof repair. So kudos to you for that, Ed. I have a tip. If you are trying to buy a home, maybe you're trying to refinance a home, and you're running into these barriers. Maybe there's not enough income to qualify, and maybe you just don't have enough money to put down if you're buying a home. Maybe your credit needs a little help, or maybe there's a problem with the appraisal. A mortgage officer is a hub of good resources to help you overcome any one of those barriers. So if you're in that position or you know someone, contact me today. I'm a mortgage officer, jogarner.com. We want to say thank you to our sponsors. One of our biggest sponsors is Talk Shop. And Talk Shop has a meeting every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Central Time at the Clark Tower in Memphis, 5100 Poplar. And that is in the Independent Planning Group conference room. Thank you, Ben Hunter, you're a financial professional at Independent Planning Group, for being Talk Shop's location sponsor. But these events are free to you, and they're full of resources. People in there who know how to fix a problem or provide something you need, and they're free. You can find out more at talkshop.com. That's talk, SHOPPE.com. This Wednesday, April 15th, 2026, 9 a.m. Central. The topic is stroke. Know the signs, save a life, presented by Michelle Apt with Encompass Rehabilitation Hospital of Memphis. This is a health talk powered by Mary Lou Novak of resourceforcare.com, sponsored by Tim Fleshner, Janelle Holloway of Mid-South Home Helpers, 901-414-9696. Of course, it's hosted by Talk Shop. And we want to thank Mark McLaurin of Refrigeration Unlimited Heating and Air, and he's good for repair and replacement and support. He supports our community through his Talk Shop sponsorship. If you need a fix on your heating and air system, he finds the problem, the original problem, and he fixes it. Call him at 901-216-7782. Thank you to Redeemers Group Foundation and Repair for your Talk Shop sponsorship. Are you dealing with a foundation, basement, or crawl space issue? Redeemers Group can help. Redeemersgroup.com. Make your plan. Let's work your plan if the deal works for you today. Let's do it today. Subscribe right now. You'll get our weekly Real Estate Mortgage Shop podcast with show notes. You can do that at jogarner.com. And Ed, I want to leave us with a quote from the Quote Corner. This is from President Wilson. He said, "I not only use all the brains that I have, but all that I can borrow."
That's good advice right there, Joe.
And I agree with him, don't you?
Well, listen, we sure appreciate everyone who's listening. And our heart and our goal today is to help you be confident because you are prepared.
That's right.
So even if you only have a 3 people list, the only 3 things you can think of is it's better to know who you're going to call in electrical or plumbing or painting, something that happens as an emergency for sure, but also some things that you would like to do in the future, the company you would already use, and go ahead and become comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like your idea of having it on the refrigerator as well as in your phone, because sometimes you're like me, you can't find your phone. And secondly, you may have somebody in your home, and you're not even there, and they need to know who your list is.
That's a great idea, Joe. You may want to make sure your most trusted neighbor or relative has this same list. So that if you weren't home, they would already know who they needed to contact. They
have the list, and they have it available in case I am not home. They know who to call. It's right there on the refrigerator. If this happens, call this person, that person.
Perfect.
So we encourage you to be prepared, be confident, and protect your home like a pro. And we've covered today some smart mortgage moves people have made, and also a way to get a home maintenance 911 team, right, Ed?
That's right.
I'm Jo Garner. I'm a mortgage officer. Tell me your story today. Call me, text me, 901-482-0354, 901-482-0354. Ed Hill, how do we contact you?
901-273-6594.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Catch our podcast, show notes at jogarner.com, and we'll see you guys back next Saturday.